Okay, so today's going to be a bit of a different video. I kind of want to describe the reasons why I'm doing all of this and sort of what my long-term vision is and some of my goals and things, because I want this to be out there as much as it can be. So, I started last year, did really well for my first year. I managed to see a lot of success really early on, and that kind of set the tone for what the rest of my career in this space, what I want it to look like. So, it's tough because I don't come from a family that's poor by any means. My family's very well off. They do very well. So I had no reason to do what I did. My reasoning was that I'm just that guy, and as like controversial as that sounds, it's true. I wanted to make something of myself. I didn't want to just go to university and get a job, and then I could have very easily done that and been living very well for the rest of my life. But I wanted to take matters into my own hands, and the biggest reason for that is because I don't like working for people, and I don't like being told what to do. And I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. It's nothing unique, but why did I want to do that? Okay, why did I decide to just, throw away so many good opportunities that I could have had and pursue something that was never guaranteed? And it's because I saw all these videos and all of these guys living these like extravagant lifestyles, and I wanted that, and I wanted to live that sort of lifestyle. And the reason for that was because I like to think I'm quite an interesting guy. I've got a lot of weird hobbies, I can solve a Rubik's Cube. Like, I used to be able to do a Rubik's Cube in like 20-30 seconds. And I want to have stories to tell later on in life. Like, now I'm only 19, but I've already built some pretty cool stories, and that's just because of where I've lived, where my parents have moved to, opportunities that I've taken, where they've come up. For example, like, I went to the Congo last year twice in the span of like a month to translate, because if you don't know, I speak French, because my parents moved there about 10 years ago. So I speak fluent French, and they wanted me to come and translate for this mining company because they were opening up a new mine and they needed to do research. And we went to visit the mine, and we took a small charter plane to this mine in the middle of like fuck knuckles nowhere. Okay, it was literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, you can't find this place on a map. The runway, no one had landed there in the past 15 years or so, and we actually got into a plane crash. You can go see the photo on my Instagram. The plane was coming into land, and it overshot the runway, so the plane was like this. And we had to spend the night in the middle of the jungle in an abandoned house. And, not a lot of people can say that they've done that, and I can, it's quite cool. In the moment, it wasn't very cool, but now it's a really cool, interesting story. And I want to have a lot more of those stories. Like, I want to travel, like, I want to go to Syria and shoot a rocket launcher at a car. Like, that is something I saw someone do, and that's something I want to do. Like, I want to go and I want to like, book out my calendar for like 2 weeks, and I want to get dropped in the middle of like the Amazon rainforest, and I want to like survive, like shit like that. I don't know why. I just want to do it. And I think it's partly because my parents grew up in Africa, okay, and back in those days, like 30, 35, 40 years ago, it was a lot more rural than it is now, and they've got a lot of cool stories to tell, and I want to have those stories. I don't want my stories to just be, yeah, I sat behind a computer for 15 years and I made a lot of money. That's obviously what I want the outcome to be. Like, I do want to make a lot of money, but it's not just because I want to have a lot of money. I want to utilize that money to have these experiences and have these hobbies. And the reason that I'm recording this video is because I was just scrolling on Instagram, like you do, like I'm a normal person. um, you know, sorry, Andrew Tate, but like, I saw this video of these guys like mountain biking and going down this like really like fast trail. And like, I used to mountain bike as well. So I want to get back into that, and I want to start cycling, like road cycling, and I want to start hiking, and I want to start like, I want to like, one of my biggest like bucket list items is I want to get my pilot's license for a helicopter and a plane. My dad had he used to be a pilot. He had his pilot license. Him and my grandfather, they had like a little plane that they would fly. Nothing, not like a jet or anything, but they had a plane that they would fly. And like, I want to do that. I don't know why. It's just, I think it's cool. I think it's something, different, and I'm very different to 99% of people that you'll meet. I'm like I said, I think I'm quite an interesting person. Excuse me. So that being said, I don't want to make a lot of money just to have a lot of money. I want to make money so that I can do the things that I want to do. I want to have all of these hobbies. Like, I want to get my skydiving license, and I want to skydive. And I love like surfing and wakeboarding and snowboarding. Like, I've been doing all of these things from such a young age, and it's just because I was exposed to so many different cultures at such a young age. That it almost forced me to be a bit of a chameleon and blend in, because we were always moving. We moved, by the age of 10, we had moved to 3 different countries, and I'd been to fuck knows how many schools, like 5 schools, I think. Yeah, five or 6 schools in that period. And that forced me to adapt and to become a chameleon in the sense, in order to blend in and to make friends. And that's another aspect that I'm actually very grateful of now, because it helps me a lot with sales. And because I can relate to so many people. I don't think I've ever had a call where I can't relate to someone in some way. And that actually helps me a lot, because it brings their guard down, and it allows me to to build that some sort of connection with them, other than we're on the same Zoom call. So I like I said, I like to think of myself as quite an interesting person, but I want to be more interesting. I want to have more stories to tell. And some stories I want to keep to myself, just because I like knowing that I've done something, and I know it, but nobody else does. And I think that's quite cool. I think there's a big benefit to that as well. Like, for example, like, I hate my birthday. Like, my birthday is one of my least favorite days of the year, and I haven't had a proper birthday party since I was like 8. And the reason for that is because I just hate the attention that I get from it. So I'm not doing this for attention. I'm not doing any of the things that I do for attention. I fucking hate attention on me. Because I just don't know how to handle it. I'm very, introverted, but I'm doing this because I want to be able to look back in 5 years' time, and I want to be able to watch this video and be like, "Fuck, Max, you did it. You slept on on a camping bed for 3 months, and you managed to get your own apartment, and this is all stuff that I'm manifesting and that I'm working towards." So yeah, I want to be able to have cool experiences, and I can't have cool experiences if I follow a traditional path, because most people follow a traditional path, and most people don't have interesting stories. So in order to have interesting stories, and to have that history with that I can eventually tell my kids one day, and make videos about, and have like quote unquote dad law, I've got to do stuff that most people aren't willing to do. So it's a very it's a very weird goal. I don't know if a lot of people relate to that, but nonetheless, it is something that I'm working towards, and I know I'm not going to be able to live like that for the next, at least the foreseeable future, the next year or so, because I've got to work and I've got to do stuff and I've got to make progress so that I can have a sustainable source of income, that I can eventually, gradually, and exponentially scale instead of linearly, so that I can funnel the money that I make into different ventures, whether it's me having, cool experiences and cool hobbies. Like I want to learn to play the guitar. Like that's one of my biggest things, and the piano as well. And, I'm a pretty good cook. I can cook pretty well. So I want to build that skill set, and I want to learn how to fight. I want to learn how a car works. I want to learn how an engine works. I want to know, if I want to dismantle a car and be able to put it back together, with no problems. So these are all things that I've got goals around and that I want to accomplish. It's just, it takes, like, you can't just do that and slack off. You've got to have some sort of money coming in to be able to do that. So, that's my why almost, is that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm documenting this journey, so that, I can look back and that you can look back on in 5 years, and that other people who only discover me in 5 years' time, they can come back and look at this video and see that I was just like them. I was just like you. I started with nothing. I didn't get money from parents. I didn't get money from a credit card, nothing. I started from zero, and I acquired a skill set, okay? I used that skill set and I turned that into an agency, and then I worked my way up from there, okay? I started a consulting/coaching offer that I have now shut down, and then I started back from scratch. I started from the thing that got me going in this space, okay? And you can see that we are the same person. You and I, there's no difference, okay? I have my why. So what is your why? I think that's something that I've thought about a lot, but it does take a toll. So, yeah. How's it? Sorry about that. But yeah, it is it's weird. I don't know. I think that's a pretty big enough why. And obviously I want to do the cool things, like buy my mom stuff and buy my dad stuff and treat those around me. And once again, I can only do that if I have money, which as of now, I do not have any. I've got like $7,000 in my bank account, which is quite a substantial amount for most people. But when you have nothing coming in and you're trying to start a new business, you spend it very, very, very cautiously, and I can tell you that firsthand. So yeah, back to work, I guess. But that's my little rant for today, or rant. Yeah. We'll see. I'm doing these daily videos. I wanna start vlogging as well. Sorry, I thought I was done, but I want to start like documenting my thing. Like I love cameras and I love videography and cinematography, and I love how you can take a moment and capture that moment in time to be saved forever and make it look so cinematic. Like, to me, that is just such a cool thing. Like, it gets me giddy thinking about it, because it's so cool. And I've loved cameras from such a young age. because my dad always played around with them. My dad always had cameras. He was always videoing and taking photos and stuff. And I think that's had a great influence on me. And, my dad's also a very interesting guy. You can talk to him about pretty much everything and he'll have something to relate. So that's where I get that from. And I'm very grateful for that now. I don't really, think of it as much as I should. But my dad's a very interesting guy. Like he's very interested in insects and, the environment and animals and plants and trees. Like we'll literally go on a walk and he'll spend 5 minutes looking at a tree and looking through an app on his phone, trying to identify it, find out about it, and things like that. Things like that for me are what make people truly interesting. I don't give a fuck if you've scaled an SMMA to like $200,000 a month. Cool, yeah, that's really cool, and I respect you a lot for that, because I've never been able to do that, and that is something that I'm working towards. I've never been able to do that, but I have been in a plane crash in the Congo. I like mountain biking, cycling, running. I like solving a Rubik's Cube, I like studying about animals as well. I like animals. I like going on safaris, I like kayaking. I've kayaked on the Zambezi a few times, which is one of the most dangerous rivers in the world. I like skydiving. Like all of these things, I think you encompass as you do them, and they become a part of who you are, and that's what makes a person, specifically a man and a woman, but truly interesting. Because at the end of the day, if you've made all this money and you've spent the past 10 years sitting behind a laptop, what do you have to talk about with people? What's your screen time looking like? Well, fuck that, bro. I want to be able to be like, I went kayaking on the Zambezi the other day. Went from rapid 1 to 25, bro. Like, and I didn't have to pull my skirt. If you kayak, you know what that means. Okay, most people don't know what that means. So then they're gonna be like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? And then you go in depth and you actually have a meaningful conversation with somebody. So, I think it's a hereditary thing that I get from my father, but it's also something that I love and that I realize that slowly makes life better. Okay, not only is it cool stories to tell, but it's cool things to document as well, which is what I'm doing now. I want to start doing that a lot more. But it also allows you to relate to people a lot more, which helps in business. I can talk to anybody in any field from all over the world, and I'll have one thing to relate to them about, at least one thing. Whether it's a sport, a hobby, an activity, an experience, a country, a phrase, a fucking meme that they saw, a personality trait, whatever it is, I have something that I can relate to people with. So that's my why, and I think it really helps. And me just even speaking about it now gives me that clarification that I never knew I really needed. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you find your reason why you want to do something. And I hope that, you find this interesting, because there's going to be a lot more videos coming out like this. After all, I am uploading every day. Every day is not going to be a long, nice video like this, but every day there will be a piece of content for you to come and check up on. So if you watched till here, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Subscribe would mean a lot, because I want to hit 10K before the end of the year, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope you found this interesting, maybe even a little bit. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.